Talk about the influence now of men like Billy Porter, who will be here, Jordan
Yeah.
Roth, Jonathan Van Ness from Queer Eye,
Yes.
all wearing rather extravagant dresses.
Yes.
And the influence of the transgender models and celebrities. Is that something you would be featuring in GQ?
Yeah, absolutely.
Having these guys wearing dresses and calling in clothes from specially made for them?
Yeah, I think if you look at the new issue of GQ, and I think
It's Pharrell on the cover.
Pharrell on the cover, and that was, that's Will Welch's idea. He wanted to do the new masculinity.
What is the new masculinity?
Well, I think if you look at the issue and you kind of go cover to cover, you'll see it kind of breaks it down, and the whole idea of makeup and the whole idea of dressing. What is masculine, what is feminine, and it kind of deconstructs the whole thing and has a lot of fun with it. But it's like, I think of someone like Billy Porter, who I know that you're going to be interviewing, and I think about how he shows up at, events. But then, if you rewind the clock and think about how Elton John or David Bowie would show up at events, but just to think that they were considered kind of a little bit freakish, and now there's acceptance, and that people can basically.
They were kind of in gowns, though.
They weren't in gowns, but there were things that were, borderline interesting. Okay, but there's a lot of glitter and all of that.
Is metrosexual still a thing?
I think it is in a weird way. I was having this conversation with someone recently. I think we have to have a different name for it. But I think there's that guy out there that is really concerned and happily concerned about the way he looks. And I always talk about that walk from the shower to the closet, how that can be kind of daunting for guys, and what they're, what are they going to put on? How are they going to look? What is their persona? And is it to fit in or to stand out? And I think that's our jobs as journalists, and certainly something that I'm very interested in is like coaching guys and helping them be comfortable with their own skin and wearing something that will help them stand out, a sense of their own personal style that will become their signature.
Being their authentic selves.
Exactly.
What about diversity and inclusivity? It's such a hot button for the women's industry and fashion magazines, ads, runways. But with the male models, you don't see really the brawny man on the runway or in the editorials so much.
Well, it's interesting because I'm actually working with a company. It's called Good Counsel. I think some of the people are here today. And they are, the guy who started the company found basically this white space where there's like no cool stuff for guys that are a little bit bigger and taller. So we're talking about the male body positivity lane. And I think the women's, thank God it's, out of the closet and on the runway and all of that. But we have a ways to go in the men's field. But, I really salute companies like Good Counsel that are giving guys a chance to, look good, no matter what their size is. Because let's face it, not everyone is a 32 waist. Not everyone is.
What did they used to be, Big and Tall? What was that store?
Big and Tall. There's a Big and Tall store called DXL. And it's subterranean, which is, I think that's wrong. Let's bring it out of the basement and make it cool.